On December 14th, the YSL RICO case changed for the absolute worse for Young Thug. On average, currently there is 2 to 3 new snitches in the case weekly, but one man snitching changed the case forever. This YSL member is none other than Gunna, as on the 14th, YSL rapper Gunna accepted a plea deal inside of the courtroom. In this plea deal, Gunna admitted the YSL is a street team that commits crimes as shared in this video clip.
You agree or acknowledge that statements are true, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocarbons and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL to the detriment of my community. YSL again. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
Now, sources claim that this court hearing was a surprise emergency hearing. Young Thug had allegedly no idea it was going down. In the video clip, the courtroom is practically empty on the inside. This video clip also shows YSL rapper Gunna saying yes ma'am to several questions regarding YSL. Questions relating that YSL participates in street activity as well as committing crimes, which obviously coming from a lead member of YSL being Gunna makes Young Thug look extremely guilty. If you're a fan of Young Thug, leave a like on the video. I'm curious how many fans are watching today. Sources claim while Gunna was accepting his plea deal in the courtroom, he did not sound or look too happy. Many believed getting released from prison, Gunna would have been extremely excited, but he actually sounded emotional if anything. And it just so happened that Young Thug had his own court hearing set for the next day after Gunna's release. It was almost as if the prosecutors are just messing with Young Thug, trying to get into his head. During Young Thug's court hearing, he was told the news of Gunna pleading guilty to several charges, as well as revealing that YSL does a lot of street activities. Now, looking at these photos of Young Thug, he obviously looked extremely worried. Sadly, I can't share the video clip of him in the courtroom, but when the judge reveals that Gunna gave up information on YSL to be released early, Young Thug is seen putting his head back to his chair and then leaning and sinking into his chair, showing a lot of sad emotions as well, which is never good to see. Now, once the court hearing was over, Young Thug was seen standing out of his chair, staring into a camera and giving a smirk before going back to his normal face. Almost like a sarcastic smile coming from Young Thug, showing that he is definitely bothered by Gunna's plea deal. After Young Thug's reaction to Gunna snitching was posted all over social media, YSL fans were quick to turn against Gunna. And with Gunna's reputation on the line, him and his team were quick to make a statement and break the silence on the snitching rumor. As Gunna released his statement on social media saying, "While I have agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, and have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case. And I have absolutely no intention on being involved in the trial process in any way." Now, while this statement makes everything extremely confusing, as there's literal video footage of him saying yes ma'am to allegedly 10 questions regarding YSL being a street team and that he is not quote snitching, Gunna is not the only member in YSL snitching right now just to get released early, as YSL member Obam was seen in a courtroom with footage today revealing revealing him accepting his own plea deal. Now, he was accused of trying to deal with YFN Lucci a few years ago. He's also the YSL member that was caught on video surveillance asking Young Thug for permission to go after Lucci, where Young Thug was supposedly going to give him payment for doing so if he got the job done, as that was even reported by DJ Academics. But we later saw George Chitty tweet, and I quote, "My read here is that the DA will cut almost everyone else a deal if it means improving their chances on convicting Young Thug." Now, George Chitty is very close to the court case, and he's in every single court hearing, and he makes it very clear the prosecutors don't care about any small-time YSL member. They don't even care about Gunna. They only want one man, and that's the kingpin Young Thug, as it almost seems as if the plea deal that Gunna accepted has been going on in the works for a few weeks, as this was hinted allegedly towards the courtroom 2 to 3 weeks ago, as during his surprise court hearing, there was also mention of 300 new witnesses as well as snitches against the rap group YSL, including head honcho Young Thug, as this was announced in the courtroom, and I quote, "The state says it will be calling 300 witnesses during the YSL trial and may require 3.5 months. Judge Glanville thinks that it will take longer." Now, sources claim the only way that Young Thug serves a life sentence in prison is if these snitches keep on coming forward in the court case. Now, this seems very likely, as this happened on the first day the YSL RICO case started.
He's the one directing traffic. He is the one they're all afraid of. He's the one that's king slime. He is the most dangerous of the 28, Judge. And I implore you not to grant him a bond. He is dangerous. If he gets a burner, Judge, and the court may know this, a lot of the communications that Mr. Williams is on FaceTime, because it's not traceable, it's not trackable. Judge, I will also say that we have taken proffers from fellow from Mr. Williams. Some are on this indictment, some are not. They have stated uniformly that Mr. Williams is dangerous. They are afraid of him, that if they cross him, he will them and their family. And they were very clear about that.
Concerns that this court has is danger to persons and to intimidate other witnesses and obstruct the administration of justice. So and for those reasons in the aggregate, I'm going to deny bond at this time.
Now, ever since day one, YSL members have been snitching against Young Thug, making plea deals and agreements with the feds. As the first snitch in the YSL case was known as Lil Woody, it was announced a YSL member named Jaden Myrick admitted on the stand in the federal courtroom that he is indeed a YSL team member and was intimidating the snitches in the case that were going against rapper Young Thug. Jaden Myrick had to admit this to the feds, as they already had hard-hitting evidence of him going after the snitches. Now, the man snitching is known as Lil Woody, as Lil Woody was seen demanding safety to the feds for his family after he started snitching on Young Thug, as Lil Woody allegedly stated during his snitching interview that Young Thug is, quote, a very dangerous person. If you cross him, he will get you and your family. As Lil Woody didn't only snitch on Young Thug, allegedly Woody brought up Lil Baby's name as well as other members of YSL, allegedly Playboy Cardi and Future, although those two names have not been 100% confirmed. Young Thug is the only man the prosecutors want in his court case. They don't care about anyone else other than the kingpin. This was made obvious when Gunna was announced to be released from prison after a plea deal, as Young Thug's lawyers then quickly argued for his release as well. But prosecutors were waiting for this, as prosecutors wanted to ruin all chances of Young Thug ever being released on bond. The prosecutors revealed to the judge a tweet sent out on Young Thug's Twitter account. The tweet states, "I'm talking with my roommate, and we're wondering if you could swim 100 miles from the middle of the ocean back to shore, at Michael Phelps. Phelps. Now, it seems like a very innocent tweet sent out by his manager by Young Thug's request over the jail phone turned very ugly in the courtroom, as prosecutors allege that Young Thug is having his manager send out these tweets for him, as these tweets allegedly have some secretive code that only YSL members would know on the outside, as there has been many instances of YSL members being caught deleting evidence and things from the case. Here's Young Thug's lawyers defending him in the courtroom about the matter.
Williams is in a jail outside of Fulton County. There are 0 cell phones in that jail.
That last tweet that was sent out to Michael Phelps is recorded. It's been investigated by the sheriff of that county, and it was a conversation that's recorded between Mr. Williams and a member of his close friendships, that he asked the other person who has control of his Twitter account. That is not a reason to...
Well, this is part of the conversation, Mr. Steele, and you and others are going to need to have with your clients, because this is part of the state's concern. I mean...
That was an innocent... That's nothing bad. Asking somebody to tweet to Michael Phelps, can you swim 100 miles in the ocean? That has nothing to do with intimidation. That ask you, Rico.
Well, if I can communicate through a family member or somebody else, then I can communicate something else.
Everything okay over there?
Sorry.
Yep. Okay, your family was concerned that something was going on. You're fine, right?
Yes, I'm great.
Okay, cool.
Now, this alone makes it 100% confirmed that the prosecutors only want Young Thug. They don't care about anyone else. And then my question to you guys is, do you believe Young Thug will beat these charges, and will he ever be released from prison? Let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed. It's been District Trending, and I'm out. Peace.